The hit and miss genre of movies based on games. When games have such a strong folklore, it can restrict a movie maker's ability to craft their own unique world. For those who don't know, this is based on a very popular mobile and online action RPG game, and not the type of game I'm familiar with. Well then, that makes me a perfect audience for this movie, someone with fresh eyes who knows nothing of the mythology. Did I enjoy it? Hi, I'm the Arty Dance from Asian Film Fans, and welcome to this review of the Chinese action fantasy movie Ji, the Yin-Yang Master, also known by its Netflix title as The Yin-Yang Master: Dream of Eternity. The evil serpent is about to wake, and the four guardians need to come together to defeat it. That's pretty much it, but there's a lot more. We follow Jingming, half-human, half-demon guardian, who travels to the imperial city to participate in the ritual on summons from the princess. While in the city preparing for the ritual, he crosses paths with Boya, a hot-headed guardian with a deep hatred for all things demon. But before the ritual can take place, one of the guardians ends up dead, and Shou takes his place, and alongside Longye, the fourth guardian, they investigate his murder, only to discover there's more going on behind the scenes than what they'd anticipated. Now Boya must put aside his hatred of demons and team up with Jingming to ensure the evil serpent is defeated. Strangely, for a Guo Jingming film, this movie actually makes a lot of sense. His films tend to suffer with over-storytelling, to the point where they can become rather boring, but while there is a moment towards the middle of the film that threatens to deviate into that territory with an explanation of the evil servant and Fang Yu, he thankfully steers the ship in the right direction. Building the world of the Yin-Yang Master means that special effects are heavily relied upon. From spellcasting to the demons and all things in between, the heavy and liberal use of CGI in the film is on par, or even above, most productions coming out of the mainland today, with a few tiny exceptions which I'll cover later in the review. Performance-wise, Mark Chao and Deng are solid, with a fairly obvious chemistry between the two of them coming out nice and clear on screen. If you'd like to see more about this, the main Asian Film Fans channel has a translated interview with both of them, and indeed the other cast members of the movie, for you to watch. Links to those interviews are in the description. As mentioned, for the most part the visual effects are impressive. Sure, the cry of plagiarism that have plagued this movie since release are in full force, as Jingming's teleportation animation does bear more than a striking resemblance to Doctor Strange. But in the end, who really cares? Two different audiences, two completely different movies. Worth mentioning are the sets. The palace where the four guardians first meet and spend the night being of particular note, with its strong Eastern vibe, trying not to be too Japanese while still leaving a Chinese impression. And the storyline, for the most part, is quite easy to follow, and that's no mean feat when you're watching a Guo Jingming film. And if you're curious, there's a very strong BL theme to the movie, which manifests itself more strongly towards the end. Again, it wouldn't be a Guo Jingming film if it didn't have BL elements. Controversy with the movie aside, with the movie being pulled from Chinese cinemas after less than 2 weeks for accusations of plagiarism, this movie isn't without its faults though. Firstly, it's the rather average effects used for the hair demon and the evil serpent. Hair has always been a hard thing for CGI artists to get right, and unfortunately in this movie, they haven't succeeded. Secondly is the length. At almost 135 minutes, you'd be forgiven to thinking the movie could have used a little bit of a trim. I thought the first hour moved along at a brisk pace. It certainly didn't feel like an hour, but once the revelations of the princess were revealed, that's when I felt the movie grinded to a halt and just laboured for about 15 to 20 minutes. The director's obsession with rich backstories has unfortunately come at the expense of the movie's running time, although he might as well have packed in as much as he could, because there won't be a sequel to this. However, there is another Yin-Yang Master movie due for release at Chinese New Year in 2021, and it will be very interesting to compare the two of them, with Jingming being the only common element between the two. But this movie specifically, Dreams of Eternity, well, it's not bad at all. In fact, you might even say I enjoyed it. That's why it gets a thumbs up. If you've seen it, What did you think? Thank you for watching this review. Please don't forget to press the like button and consider subscribing to support the channel.